I'm Thomas Smith, and you might have wondered at some point if a piece of space junk were to fall on my property, am I able to keep it? And this might seem like a silly question, but actually, this is something that's happening more and more often. And most recently, earlier this year, a Chinese satellite actually disintegrated, and there was some concern that some of the pieces might land on parts of the United States. And this has certainly happened in other parts of the country, especially those that are nearby to launch pads in Florida, for example. So the answer is that if a piece of space junk or debris were to fall on your lawn or on your yard or your property, you are not able to keep it in most cases. Especially if it's a United States spacecraft, it's actually property of the federal government, since US spacecraft are launched by NASA, which is a federal agency. So if you were to keep a piece of a spaceship that fell from the sky onto your lawn, then you would actually be in violation of federal law, and you could potentially go to prison for doing that. So very important from a legal standpoint not to do that. Certain states have even passed laws specifically addressing this. Florida, for example, which again is very close to several launch pads, has a state law that also provides for fines of over $1,000 as well as up to a year in prison for people who touch or keep space junk that falls on their property. However, there's probably an even better reason not to touch these items if you do see one of them fall out of the sky and land on your lawn, because a lot of them actually use very toxic chemicals. There's special propellants that are used by spaceships when they're in space that are so incredibly toxic that they can kill a person even at parts per million. So if there's a tiny bit of residue on a piece of space junk and you were to touch it in your lawn, it could actually cause you very serious harm. The other reason is that some spacecraft actually use radioactive material to power themselves while in space. This has fallen on the Earth on some occasions. In one case, it fell on the country in Canada, and it was a Soviet spy satellite that disintegrated. It left large enough pieces of radioactive material that if somebody had happened upon them, it would have been enough radiation to potentially kill them. So very serious, very important. If you find a piece of space junk on your lawn, don't keep it, don't even touch it. Call your local law enforcement. They'll contact federal agencies. If it has caused damage to your property, you're likely able to be compensated for that. There are laws that provide compensation for damage caused by falling space junk. So if you do find a piece of this space debris on your property, call the authorities. Don't touch it, and certainly don't keep it.